Hello, what is up guys, and today we are going to be going over important CSS styles. In this video we're going to focus on width and height and styling the width and the height. So pixels, ems, rems, percentages, and lastly the default, which is called auto. So to begin, we're going to start off with pixels. As you can see, we've got the same, just very basic layout here to practice with the BME FBLA, BME FBLA. This is our code, Alt-Tab. So as you can see, I've given all of these things a class pixels that I haven't actually described. So let me say pixels means the width is 16 pixels, okay? And you can see that now it's gone vertically because I've set the width to only 16 pixels. So this is only going to be 16 pixels wide, so the text can't fit both texts in that 16 pixel column. But if I were to make it, say, 160 pixels, now we have it back onto the same thing. Pixels is the most basic unit for sizing. But now I'm actually not going to use the box styles so that I can set the width. I'm going to use the font instead, okay? So I'm going to do font dash size, okay? So font dash size, 16 pixels is also the default font size, so it looks the same. But now let's go on to this new unit, which is ems, okay? So ems, now let me describe the class .m, font size 1em. So let me give all of these a class size, the class m. Actually, let me just give these to the class m, and then I want to show you, how it works, how ems work, because ems are a scalable unit. So as you can see, this is the same thing. 1em is equal to 16 pixels. 1em is the same thing as 16 pixels. There's no difference, right? And here, just to show you, 16 pixels, it looks the exact same. Yes, font dash size, sorry. But what if I gave this a class m? What if I made m equal to 9em? Actually, let's see this, okay, 9em. So this should just be 9 times 16 pixels, and yep, it's like that. 9 times 16 pixels is the font size. But now what if I give this class also em, em, okay? This is absolutely massive. This text is so big. And the reason why this happens is because this unit is scalable, and it also has these, because of these inherent properties. It has these inherent properties. So what this means is properties. So what this means is if this is 9em, then if this is 9em, this is going to be here. Let me use an HTML comment to describe it, okay? Above is 9em, below is 9em. So size is 9 times 9em because it's scalable. It's 9em times 9em. So instead of just 9em, it's going to be equal to 81 ems because it's a scalable unit. So it's based off of this and this. Now, in order to limit the scalability, you can use this unit called rems. This just means root m. This is basically the root m, meaning it goes back from the root all the way, meaning that it's not scalable. So it goes back to like the very beginning to the root, so it's not going to be based off of the parent element. So in this case, if we change this from m to rem, I already have a rem class, which I will show you, rem. If I go here, we have a rem class, font size 1 rem. Let me make it 9 rem just to show you that it looks perfectly normal, like what 9 rem should look like. These are basically ems without the scalability. If I remove this rem, it'll still be 9 rem because again, it's not scalable, as in it's not scalable based on the parent element. So now you might be thinking, okay, cool, but when should I use ems and when should I use rems? So really, this is up to your personal preference. I personally prefer to use rems just because of the sheer simplicity that comes with it. You know, you don't have to pay attention to the previous elements. You can size things the way you want. Some developers, however, do like the scalability that comes with using ems, so they will use ems. But most commonly, I see people using rems, and rems is the way that I like to work. And you know, if you prefer ems, you're welcome to use ems. Just make sure to put some comments in your HTML and CSS, just explaining why some elements look big in case you are sharing your project with other developers. So now lastly, after ems and rems, let's go to percentages. Now I'm going to go from font size back to width. So percentages, I'm just going to use the same pixels class, and I'm going to do width colon 50%, okay? So what this means is that if I set this to the class pixels and pixels, it will set these guys each to 50% of their container, of their parent element, which is this div over here. So as we can see, if I go to width, go to the width, it has 50% of its parent element's width, right? The width of the content, as you can see, is half, 50% of the parent's element. That's why this line over here is the part that it's not taking up, if I can get to it, but yes. But now, let's say that I also gave this a class pixels. So now what happens is, this div is 50% of the parent, which is the body. So this is now 50%. So here, let me write a comment here. Set to 50%. And now this is going to be set to 50% of the parent. So this is set to 50% of parent. So this is going to be equal to 0.5 because this is set to 50%. Now it's times 0.5 because 50% of the 50% of, in this case, is multiplication. So 50% of this 50% is 0.5 times 0.5, which is equal to 0.25, which is equal to 25%. And, and if we do this, we can see that it is now 25% of the entire body, 25% relative to body. I should write this, relative to body. Body is our entire HTML document, which is this, right? And as we can see, this div is 50%, our main div, then these two are back to our 50% of this div. Now lastly, we're going to go with the auto width and height. So this just means it's the automatic default which these elements have. And in this case, the auto default is going to just be the full width of the container. They'll expand to the full width of their container. So as you can see, this expands to the full width, and this expands to the full width, and it expands to whatever the height which it takes up. So in this case, it only takes up this much height because it just has one BME FBLA. But if I copied and pasted BME FBLA like a bunch of times, so let me do that to show you guys. Control V. Okay, let's just go bang. Okay. Now you can see that it's taking up all the height which it needs to take up. That's the automatic default. Now you might be thinking, when would I be using this this default auto class? So normally elements are just by default on this, are default set to the auto width and the auto height. But let's say that you want a collapsible to expand and then to decrease. Then you would want to bring it back to the basic automatic height. You would use JavaScript to do this. I know that I haven't explained that so well. If you would like, if you do JavaScript though, and if you've done web development with JavaScript, you would understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it's fine as well. Really, with CSS, you would not use this this class because you don't need to, because it's already default. So anyways, I hope that you found this helpful. Well, not this class, this style would be more correct. And before I end the video, actually, let me show you again a Mozilla Developer Network. If you ever just need some basic reference for these things, just do CSS MDN reference, and then you'll find an entire CSS reference from the Mozilla Developer Network, which you can use to reference back to sizing. So you can do width. You can go to width. Well, width in this case isn't a class. Well, it is actually a class. Width, you can go to width, see the ways that width works. If you press on max width, it'll show you different ways that it's been set. So m's, percents, things like that. So you can always use this as a good reference. Again, you can also practice. So I could write, say, 95%. Oh yeah, because the max width is only going to be up to whatever the content takes. So if I set this to 5%, it'll decrease. But it's not going to increase because it's only based on the content. So the maximum width is just whatever the content width is. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, feel free to smash that like button right there. And subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.